the Miller and Moulton YouTube and Twitch TV channels. You can always chime into the show on the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line, 479-5551. That's 479-5551. How are you on this Friday?
I'm surviving, David. I thought I was doing great. Actually did something really unusual today. I took a shower before the show, which has become very unusual in my world.
Thanks for sharing.
And was all fired up, came up here and couldn't get anything to work. So,
okay.
You choose. We're there now. We figured it out, I think. Give it a shot. Who knows? Watched a little live golf yesterday. I was really happy. I had golf on for 8 hours yesterday.
Well, that's what I thought I was going to hear. I thought you were still going to be basking in the glow of nothing but live golf.
Yeah, sorry. It's the one area I can't hide my true emotions. When the technical part of this show isn't working at 6 a.m., I get very flustered. I put a lot of pride into making sure we're up and in all the places we're supposed to be. And when things don't run according to Hoyle, I have a little bit of anxiety at the early part of the morning, and today was one of those days. But no, the golf was great. The best part of the golf, the single best part is they give us 4 hours of the PGA Live, the subscription service that they want you to pay for some extra
golf
features.
Pass.
Right. And so they gave you that for 4 hours yesterday. I don't know if they're going to do it today. I would think it would be really smart to give it away free for a couple of days, but I get their point. They want to make money. They've been sacrificing cash for a while. They want as much out of us as they can get. So they go at 4 o'clock to the coverage, to the actual golf coverage. Right. There he is, Jim Nantz. Hello, friends. And Jim...
By himself.
Right, and Jim gives a very nice talk and has his monologue worked out. And they go to live golf. Moments ago, John Rahm on 8. And Rahm chips it in. Well, obviously, there's no crowd. And I don't know if it was his caddy. I don't know if it was one of his playing partners. But all of a sudden you hear, that's pretty blanking good. Loud. And I mean, Nance has given the monologue. Now we're going to go to 8. We all know it. We all know exactly how he does this. Moments ago on 8. The chip goes in, and I mean an F-bomb comes across your television like you've never heard it before. Nance, the pro that he is, says, well, we were hoping for a little better audio than that. And they just move right on. And I'm like, that's a pro's pro right there. Don't know how to tell you, but that was terrific. That's how we started live sports. The third word by a professional golfer was an F-bomb on air.
My wife a couple times, because she's working from home still, and I'm watching golf. I mean, it's live sports.
Right.
I mean, I'm watching it. I got nothing else going on. And a couple times my wife was like, so when was this from? I'm like, no, this is live. What? Yes, live sports. We're coming back. Racing. Now golf. All right. Just give us a little bit of time. We're getting there. Really? This is live? Yes. Where is this? Fort Worth. So, course played easy. Wasn't much wind. It's short. If they hit it straight, the course is really defenseless.
And, it's always windy. I mean, you heard them say that. I mean, you heard announcers saying, I've never really seen it lay down quite like this.
And so you knew you were going to have good scores if, in fact, there's no wind. That's pretty much the case nowadays. I mean, they're too good. They hit the ball too far, and this is a short course. Never mind. It is narrow, though. You do have to put it in the fairway, but there, far more scores under par than over par, and some really good stories though yesterday, no question about it. And some guys who have never played this course, like Rory McIlroy, playing because they want to play. Ricky Fowler and his caddy both agreed to be mic'd up. The audio was okay. I mean, Ricky didn't play real well, so he wasn't great, but it was the audio that you were looking for, though. Like, hey, I thought that putt was going to break back to the left and it got a little bumpy and it stayed to the outside and, things like that.
Yeah, I just like some of the, he happened to be between clubs and took the 9 instead of the 8. He goes, oh, it might fly. Okay, give me the 9. And he airmails the green. And that's one where I'm like going, give me a little more audio. Because I want to know who was thinking 8 here.
Right.
If you know what I mean. Because that would have gone out of the building. So it was, like I said, it was I thought the other fun part, what was the par 3? Is it 12 or whatever the par 3 was that goes to the border of the property where there is a grandstand set up off the property and there are people in the neighborhood watching.
Right. So there was
and they're
one
cheering.
hole.
And they're trying.
Right.
And it sounds like there's 12 of them. But they are trying desperately to be as loud as they can be.
Yes. It reminded me of the group of Indian fans in the grandstand in Major League.
Yes. That was good. That, and then I think it was Fowler playing with Spieth or was he playing with JT? I think it was Spieth. Spieth grinds for this horrific 5 on the 11th hole, I think it was. And Fowler missed a pretty short birdie putt. And Spieth makes like a 10-footer for birdie. I think it was Spieth. And he just looks up, he goes, nice 5, Ricky. I mean, that's funny.
Right.
That's the stuff we're looking for. And it was just very, hey, that's a nice 5, Rick. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yep. So it was enjoyable yesterday. And according to Darren Ravel of the Action Network, it was far and away the most bet on round of golf in the history of the PGA Tour. And I got to give the PGA Tour credit. They allowed Darren Ravel and Jason Sobel, who we had on Wednesday from the Action Network, they allowed the two of them to broadcast 90 minutes of the coverage yesterday early afternoon live on the Action Network Twitter. They allowed the PGA Tour said, do 90 minutes of play-by-play and talk as much gambling as you want. I give them credit.
I do too, because it would be nearly hypocritical of golf, of all sports, not any other sports, but of golf to not acknowledge that the sole purpose of the game is to bet. That's why we play. I mean, it is the one equalizer with handicap. No, I mean, come on, there is nothing more. I don't care if a $5 Nassau, a $2 Nassau. We are all, for the most part, having some sort of a game when we play golf. In fact, I cannot recall the last time I played golf when there was not a little something on the line. And I don't play for big money. I play $5 Nassau.
That could be a poll question. All right. Do you bet when you play golf?
I would take a high Card Sharks number. I'd 64, 63, somewhere in there percent. I get a little overzealous because I was thinking 66, 67. I backed off it a little bit. Like I do when I was younger and a woman asked me their age. Whatever I thought it was, I just instantly took 3 or 4 off.
Oh, yeah.
You look about 28. 24? Duh.
479-5551. That's our number, 479-5551 on the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line. Did you watch yesterday? And if so, what was your thoughts to live sports once again? Day 2 of the MLB draft last night.
Many people going there. Was it day 1?
Yes, there was. Apparently, the theme of the draft was college players. Don't know if it was a one-year thing, but I think the fewest number of high school players drafted in the first 5 rounds of a draft in like the modern era.
Well, think about that, David. Nobody played high school baseball. Nobody played high school baseball. So if you were scouting a kid and you thought he was worthy, are you going to take a chance on your first-round pick of someone that probably didn't pitch? And usually the high school kids are pitchers.
You only got a month of the college season, though.
Yeah, but you had 3 years of the college season. You had 2 years of a college player. You have a history of that player. You have tape of that college player. You don't of the kid that played his junior year in high school.
So that was the theme of the draft this year, was that they drafted a whole bunch of college guys. It was as if teams made the decision, you know what, we want these guys to get to the show sooner rather than later. We're not drafting prospects like we used to. We want to draft a little more of a finished product. But 600,000 watched the day one of the draft, by the way. We were talking about it being on the four-letter network and whether or not Major League Baseball and comparing it to the NHL draft and all that, and how this draft gets no attention, this, that, and the other thing. I believe FGCU did not have a kid drafted because it was only 5 rounds. If I'm mistaken, I apologize, but I don't believe anybody locally, high school, FSW, or FGCU got drafted yesterday. Look at you with your free Dolph t-shirt on today.
Yeah, I took it out of when I cleaned the studio a couple weeks ago. This moved from hanging on the wall to in my drawer. Went right to the hamper, got a wash, and I thought I'd pull it out today since he was suspended for being critical of the basketball team. They've not yet gotten rid of the coach who was critical of black people.
Are you talking about the basketball coach
or the
coach? Football coach?
Football
right.
coach.
Well, the football coach is going to have a presser today along with 2 or 3 players early this afternoon.
Be interesting.
It will be interesting. Obviously, Kirk Ferentz wants to say something.
And he should. And look, all I know about everything, the people that I know that know him, and I do know a few people that are, one of my good friends, his son played for him. Another friend of mine is a prominent booster at Iowa, owns a beer distributorship in that area. And I've never heard anybody say a lot of bad things about Kurt. Ever. I mean, he's an 8-4 guy. He does it his way, but it looks like his way was not very inclusive of anything but his way. We'll see today how he handles that, because he's an older coach. I mean, if all the coaches, I'm not even trying to pick on Iowa here, but if you're looking at this being, if you're trying to say that maybe Ferentz was blind to this, turned the other way with that coach, he'll have to answer those questions himself. But it is pretty obvious that they run an old school type football program. That means everybody's supposed to act the same way. And we'll see if he's going to open up and try to change things going forward, because that's tough for a guy in his 60s. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a lot harder for him than it is maybe someone a little more enlightened to the world, particularly when you're in Iowa.
No question. He is the dean of college football coaches at the highest level, with him being in one place for over 20 years and with him being in his mid-60s as well. That is, you do not think change when you put those two ingredients together. 479-5551, 479-5551 on the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line. We're working through some gremlins on our Twitch line. We understand it doesn't quite look the way it normally does. Give it some time. I have a feeling that the gerbils need to warm up a little bit.
What I'll interpret that answer for you is that David has absolutely zero clue what's going on, but he is acknowledging the fact that you, in the Twitch room, are complaining about a few things, and we want to make sure that we recognize that we acknowledge that. But David is blaming gremlins for it, which means he doesn't have. No, I don't know either.
Well, I no,
I don't know. He doesn't know.
If you turn it on, and it normally works, and then all of a sudden you turn it on and it doesn't work, what's going on? Hell if we know. And besides, Engineering 101, we've only got one move in our holster.
Turn it on. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it on again.
That's it. That's all we got. That's all we have. And so, yeah, it's our understanding that the colors aren't good. And, we look a little strange. We look like, how when you don't order the porno. Okay.
This is Cinemax. This is Cinemax 1985.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's apparently what we look like on Twitch, in which it didn't click through yet, and you're trying to watch pirated programming. That's apparently what we have right now.
Now YouTube looks perfect, for the record.
Okay. So,
and apparently on Twitch it looks like you're on shrooms. So that might be fun for everybody this morning. If you're looking for an acid flashback, Twitch TV/Miller and Moulton.
Okay. So there you go. We'd appreciate your comments at 479-5551, 479-5551. Speaking of comments, some very interesting comments from Alex Cora yesterday. Very interesting.
Yes.
And I don't know if he should be applauded for what he said, or I don't know if it's a little weaselly what he said, but it was the truth. And you know how I feel about the truth, Mark, and you're a pretty big fan of it as well. He gave us 6 seconds of truth yesterday.
Yes, he did.
About the whole sign stealing thing. He gave it to us.
If you listened.
And can we handle it?
Yes. I mean, all Cora really at the end of the day tried to say is, they tried to pin this on two guys.
Yeah. There were a few more than two people involved.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's all he's saying. And I think not only said a few more, I think he said it goes up a little bit further. I think he's saying what we've all known for a long time. Is that from top to bottom, everybody knew.
Yeah, imagine that.
But
imagine that. This was not created by Ollie North, and it stopped there. No, there were people above Ollie North that knew what was going on. Shocking development.
Thank God it's a baseball hour, or 4 people would have an idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's why I use that reference.
I mean, you went Ollie North.
Right. I mean, it's my peeps here. The people that are my age and older. I mean, that's who I'm referencing there. The Twitch audience is like, who are these guys? And now what the hell?
Aren't there enough people currently that you could name?
Yeah, but the more current you get, the more heat you get.
Okay, just trying to keep those references, topical, if you know what I mean.
I know, but if you make them obscure, you don't get people nearly as bent out of shape.
Fair enough.
The more recent you get, then people assume that you take sides. Okay, and you know me, I think they both suck.
There's no doubt.
So I go after them all, but just to keep the peace and not trying to alienate any listeners.
Fair enough, because David has done a really good job of that, because at least twice this week I have given him poll questions to which he just, the head drops.
Yeah. Nope. Can't do it. Funny.
Right.
Right.
I get a laugh.
A lot of responses.
I get a laugh.
Right.
But then I get a no.
That's quality material, just not for this show. Right. So, Miller and Moulton on this Friday. 3 months since everything shut down and 90 days away from kickoff of the National Football League season, 78 days away from week 0 for the college football season. 11 weeks tomorrow is when we're scheduled to get our first college football games. NBA, NHL, both inching forward as to when it is that they're going to start working out and they're going to start playing. We'll talk about all of it and more in the starting 5, which is next. Miller and Moulton, thanks for making us part of your day on this Friday, the 12th of June. We're on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. We know Southwest Florida is Gulf Shore strong, and as businesses continue to reopen and try to get back to normalcy, we want to hear from you. Call us at 479-5577, 479-5577. Tell us the name and location of your business, and let us know that you're back and rooting for Southwest Florida.
So, Art, should I restart this? I mean, I've never seen this happen. I don't know.
Gulf Shore stronger than ever.
No one roots harder for Southwest Florida than Fox Sports Radio.
I think I'm gonna get off this, guys. Don't freak out. I'm going to end this and restart.